Honorable Dr. Federico, Senior Executive Director of the Pharmaceuticals Bilik. Honorable Mr. Okubo Society, Officer of International Regulatory Affairs, Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare Japan, Honorable Mr. Yoshida Tomoaki, Secretary of Health, Labor and Welfare Department, Society for Malaysia, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I was made to understand that our colleagues are joining online. From the FDA and SW. Yeah, from the bank. So, thank you for joining online with us. So again, good morning to our Japan and very warm welcome to all our students on the platform and the bank. Okay. Namoriwa, Mubralikan, So it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to the Medical Device Authority (MDA) leadership. So today's bilateral meeting marks another milestone in our ongoing partnership with our Japanese counterparts. On behalf of the Medical Device Authority, I extend my warm greetings and welcome you to this collaboration. And to our office here in Jakarta. So we are honored by the presence of the delegation from the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, and the Pharmaceuticals and Medical Device Agency of Japan, as well as our colleagues from the Embassy of Japan in Malaysia. We are honored by your presence and look forward to strengthening our collaboration. Before we move forward, please allow me to introduce the key members of our delegation from the Medical Device Authority alongside myself. Right. So, next to me, we have Madam Aidawati Alipay. She's the Senior Director, Trade Market Control Division. So, she's in charge of all the trade market work, licensing. And then we have Senior Director, Madam Ida Mazura. She's the Senior Director for Policy and Strategic Planning Division. And then we have Madam Novella. Madam Novella is Senior Director. Mr. Shafiq, Muhammad Shazali Shafiq. He's the Director of Legal Division. Mr. Isham, he's the Senior Director for Enforcement. My other colleagues, next to Mr. Isham is Mr. Terry. That is from the Policy Division. Then we have Madam Suhaila from the Pre-Market Control, and then of course my legal there. And here, Madam Mashira. Mashira is from the International Division, and then dari budaya, economy, market control, then of course, based by society people and also delegation. This delegation is this delegation is come together to strengthen the relationship between MPA and MSLW and also PMDA,
as well as
to explore
explore
new
new
opportunities
opportunities
for
for
collaboration
collaboration
and
and acquisition, knowledge exchange.
We are
We are
committed
committed
to
to
ensuring that Malaysia's medical device regulatory framework continues to be at the forefront of safety, quality, and efficacy in healthcare. As part of our growing bilateral engagement, Malaysia and
Malaysia and
Japan
Japan
have
have
developed a
developed
constructive
constructive
and
and
cooperative
cooperative
relationship
relationship
in the
in the
field of
field of
medical
medical
device
device
regulation.
regulation.
Our
Our
cooperation has
cooperation has
spanned
spanned
multiple
multiple
platforms,
platforms,
including
including
active
active
participation
participation
in the
in the
organization of
organization
the
of the
International
International
Medical
Medical
Device
Device
Regulators
Regulators
Forum,
Forum, IMDRF,
whereby
whereby Malaysia
became the
became the
member of
member of
IMDRF,
IMDRF,
and the
and the
Global
Global
Harmonization
Harmonization
Working
Working
Party,
Party,
GHWP.
GHWP. We are also
We
proud
have
to have
supported
supported
PMDA
PMDA
through
through
its
its
Center of
Center of
Excellence
Excellence
platform,
platform,
designated as
designated
an
as an
APEC
APEC
COE,
COE,
particularly for
particularly for
medical
medical
devices
devices
via
via
PMDA
PMDA
APC.
APC.
This
This
collaboration
collaboration
contributes
contributes
significantly to
significantly to
regulatory
regulatory
capacity
capacity
development in
development
the
in the
region.
region.
In
In
addition,
addition,
MDA
MDA
recognizes
recognizes
the
the
Ministry of
Ministry of
Health,
Health,
Labour,
Labor,
and
and
Welfare of
Welfare of
Japan
Japan
under
under
an
an
abridged
abridged
pathway
pathway
within
within
our
our
conformity
conformity
assessment
assessment
procedure.
procedure.
So
So
this
this
acknowledgement
acknowledgement
reflects
reflects
our
our
trust
trust
in
in
Japan's
Japan's
regulatory
regulatory
strength
strength
and the
and the
strong
strong
foundation
foundation
of
of
confidence
confidence
that
that
supports
supports
our
our
bilateral
bilateral
cooperation.
cooperation.
Japan is
Japan
our
is our
reference
reference
country
country
when we
when
look
we look
into
into
our
our
pre-market.
pre-market control registration.
With
With
MDA's
MDA's
establishment
establishment
of a
of a
mature
mature
and
and
robust
robust
regulatory
regulatory
framework
framework
for
for
medical
medical
device
device
control,
control,
we
we
respectfully
respectfully
invite
invite
MHLW
MHLW
and
and
PMDA
PMDA
to
to
consider
consider
referencing
referencing
MDA
MDA
as a
as a
trusted
trusted
regulatory
regulatory
authority
authority
under
under
appropriate
appropriate
regulatory
regulatory
reliance
reliance
arrangements.
arrangements.
We
We
believe
believe
such
such
mutual
mutual
recognition will
recognition will
enhance
enhance
efficiency,
efficiency,
reduce
reduce
redundancy,
redundancy,
and
and
further
further
elevate
elevate
patients'
patients'
outcome
outcome
safety
safety
across
across
our
our
jurisdiction.
jurisdiction.
So as
So
we
as we
gather
gather
today,
today,
our
our
agenda
agenda
encompasses
encompasses
three
three
interconnected
interconnected
goals.
goals. First,
We will
we will
explore
explore
and
and
compare the
compare the
regulatory
regulatory
processes
processes
applied
applied
in
in
Malaysia
Malaysia and Japan
for
for
medical
medical
device
device
registration and
registration and
oversight,
oversight,
seeking
seeking
opportunities
opportunities
to
to
harmonize
harmonize
and
and
streamline
streamline
our
our
approaches.
approaches.
In this
In this
context,
context,
we
we
also
also
welcome
welcome
consideration from
consideration
our
from our
Japanese
Japanese
counterparts
counterparts
to
to
reference
reference
MDA
MDA
as a
as a
trusted
trusted
regulatory
regulatory
authority
authority
in
in
pre-market
pre-market
authorization for
authorization for
Japan.
Japan.
Next,
Next,
we will
we will
discuss the
discuss the
development
development
of a
of a
formal
formal
memorandum of
memorandum of
cooperation
cooperation
to
to
strengthen
strengthen
our
our
bilateral
bilateral
cooperation.
cooperation.
Finally,
Finally,
we will
we will
receive
receive
insights
insights
on the
on the
medical
medical
device
device
single
single
audit
audit
program
program,
MDSAP from
MDSAP,
our
from our
Japanese
Japanese
counterparts.
counterparts.
Building on
Building
these
on these
discussions,
discussions,
we
we
aspire to
aspire to
continue
continue
strengthening our
strengthening our
collaboration
collaboration
for
for
formalizing
formalizing
the
the
MOC,
MOC,
encouraging
encouraging
exchange of
exchange of
regulatory
regulatory
and
and
between
between
Japan
Japan
and
and
Malaysia.
Malaysia.
So in
So, in
conclusion,
conclusion,
I would
I
like
would
to
like to
express my
express my
sincere
sincere
appreciation
appreciation
to our
to our
Japanese
Japanese
colleagues
colleagues
for
for
making this
making this
visit
visit
possible,
possible,
and to the
and to the
MDA
MDA
team
team
for
for
their
their
thorough
thorough
preparations.
preparations. Your presence reaffirms the
Value of
value of
international
international
cooperation
cooperation
in
in
strengthening
strengthening
regulatory
regulatory
systems.
systems.
We
We
truly
truly
value the
value the
opportunity to
opportunity to
strengthen
strengthen
our
our
ties
ties
and
and
look
look
forward
forward
to a
to a
productive,
productive,
fruitful
fruitful
exchange and
exchange and
continued
continued
partnership
partnership
in the
in the
years
years
ahead.
ahead.
Thank you,
Thank you,
and I look
and I look
forward to our
forward to our
discussions
discussions
ahead.
ahead. Arigatou
Gozaimasu.
gozaimasu.
Okay. Next, I would invite Dr. Kondo Eniko from Pmda, okay, to deliver the remarks from Japan delegation. Thank you very much, Dr. Laharitang Halasmasama. Selamat pagi. Good morning. Ohayou gozaimasu. My name is Emiko Kondo, and I serve as Senior Executive Director of Pmda. It is a great honor for me to have the opportunity to visit the Medical Device Authority of Malaysia today. Pmda has had opportunities to engage with MDA through multilateral frameworks such as ASEAN Medical Device Committee, AMDC, and the International Medical Device Regulatory Forum, IMDRF. With advances of IT technologies, the innovative medical devices such as utilizing AI, development, and their international expansion are progressing rapidly. Pmda recognizes that it is becoming increasingly important for regulatory authorities in each country to collaborate and share knowledge. We recognize to explore ways to advance such dialogue and cooperation between Japan and Malaysia as well. In July last year, Pmda opened its Asia office in Bangkok, Thailand, with the aim of strengthening collaborating among regulatory authorities in the ASEAN region. Dr. Kitahara, head of Asia office, is also present today. Through this office, we expect to further promote dialogue and cooperation with regulatory authorities across the ASEAN region, including MDA. This year, Japan serves as the chair of IMDRF, and we are scheduled to have the IMDRF meeting in Sapporo, Hokkaido, this September. In addition, a meeting for the Medical Device Single Audit Program, MDSA, is also scheduled to take place ahead of IMDRF lead session. We welcome MDA plans to attend both meetings. Pmda strongly support MDA's participation in the process of MDSA. We also understand during your visit to Japan in September, you plan to stop by Tokyo as well. Pmda is very much welcoming you in person. Lastly, I hope we can have an open and constructive exchange on future cooperation. I thank you very much. Terima kasih. Thank you, Dr. Kondo and Nico, for the encouraging and forward-looking remarks. So now we will proceed for the agenda on sharing on medical device registration requirement and process in both Malaysia and Japan. Okay. With that, excuse me, presentation, Malaysia.
Before moving for the agenda, let me introduce our side, Japan side. Is it okay?
Apologies for not giving you an opportunity.
Okay, then let me introduce the Japanese delegates. The first is Dr. Emiko Kondo, as she made her greetings. And then the next is from the Dr. Jun Kitahara, Head Asia Office. And then Mr. Takayuki Okubo from MHW, Director, Office of International Regulatory Affairs. And also we have two colleagues from MHW by online, Dr. Yasuko Inokuma and Yukina Ueno. And then we also have the Mr. Tomoaki Yoshida from the Embassy of Japan. And from Pmda, we have Dr. Jun Matsumoto. He's the Coordination Director, Office of Asia Training Center and International Cooperation. And Mr. Kaito Ishimizu, he's in also the same office. And also we have Ms. Madoka Hoshino. Yeah, she's also in the same office. And also we have the two delegates from Pmda by online, Ms. Dr. Miho Sato, Principal Coordinator, Division of Regulatory Collaboration, Office of International Strategy and Planning. And also we have Dr. Kenji Ishibashi, Senior Scientist of Medical Device, and me, Ayumi Endo, the Office of Asia Training Center and International Cooperation. And also today we have an interpreter, and she's joining by online. So to make our discussion precisely, we use the interpreter for the discussion. But for the presentation, we just present in English. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, shall we now proceed with the next agenda on the sharing on medical device registration requirement and process? We start with Malaysia presentation first. Okay, let me invite presenter from Pre-Market Control Division, Madam Hidayah, to proceed with the presentation. Okay.
Technical glitches, just for a moment. Okay. Maybe we can look into that screen and start.
Okay, since there's technical issues with the two screens, so if you can refer to that screen. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Konnichiwa, ahoy gozaimasu. Namai wa Hidayah-san. Okay. I'm Hidayah from the Pre-Market Control Division. Basically reviewing the pre-market documentation for submission in Malaysia. So today I'm going to share about the overview of the medical registration framework in Malaysia. Malaysian medical device regulatory system is structured under two main legislation. We have Medical Device Authority 2012 Act 738. MDA was established under Act 738. This empowered us to regulate stakeholders, including establishment, including CABs, users, and establishment, which include manufacturers, drug representative, importer, and distributor. The other act, which is Medical Device Act 2012, Act 737, governs the regulations, control, and enforcement of medical device in Malaysia. So it was enacted to ensure that medical devices used in Malaysia are safe, of high quality, and effective for their intended uses. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have Act 738, Act 727, and there are 4 regulations currently under the Act 737. And then we have one Medical Device Registration Order 2017, which declare a non-corrective contact lenses as medical device due to the public safety and health. And then we have also Medical Device Exemption Order 2024, which exempts certain medical devices from the registration, such as medical device for demonstration, clinical research, special access, custom-made, obsolete, discontinued medical devices. This order also exempt low-risk medical devices, which is Class A medical device, from conformity assessment procedure by a conformity assessment body in Malaysia, which means low-risk medical devices, they do not have to go to the conformity assessment body by the registered CABs. They just have to register straight away with MDA. I'm going to explain it later on. And then we have many circulars, several guidance documents, and standards. Act 737 consists of 80 sections and divided into 6 parts. It was enforced on 30th July 2013. Which prescribes about registration of medical devices, conformity assessment body, also covers enforcement. We also the supporting legislation is Medical Device Regulation 2012, which consists of 22 regulations across 6 schedules and divided into 9 parts. So it's detailed out about licensing, registration of medical devices, and conformity assessment bodies, export permit, labeling requirements, and then MDA register. Okay, establishments dealing with the medical devices shall be licensed under the Act. Basically, all entities involved in the supply chains shall be licensed under this Act, which includes manufacturers who produce medical devices, authorized representative that acts on behalf of foreign manufacturers and assume regulatory responsibilities in Malaysia. They are also responsible to register the devices in Malaysia on behalf of the foreign manufacturer. And then importer and distributor shall also be licensed, and they can only handle registered devices with clear authorization from the manufacturer or the authorized representative. In the Act 737 under Section 2, prescribe about definition of medical devices. So our legal definition of medical device is aligned with the international norms. It's aligned with the IMDRF definition of medical devices. It's pretty much similar. It includes also IVD medical devices. And as I mentioned, in our Act prescribed that the Ministry of Health may, taking into consideration issue of public safety, public health, or public risk, declare a product to be a medical device by order published in the Gazette, which is coloured contact lenses without corrective. Next. Okay, just to share with you the our current statistics. Overall, we have licensed about 21,000 companies from 2015 until 2024. And then for medical device, we have registered 79,424 from 2000. That's not in my slide. Okay. All right. So we started registering medical device from 2016. Okay, and then medical devices in Malaysia, the registration period is 5 years. So after 5 years, the establishments need to re-register the medical device again. So up until now, we have registered about around 79,000. And 79% comprises the general medical devices as compared to 2021 is IVD, and then 49% is Class A medical devices, 29% Class B, 17% Class C, and then 5% Class D medical devices. We have a total of 22 registered CABs, 129 personnel, and then this one will be further explained by my colleague, Mr. Fadullah. Okay, basically, a company who wants to register, import and place the medical devices in Malaysia, first they need to be licensed and then they need to register the medical devices. The Act, it is mandatory in the Act that all medical devices shall undergo a conformity assessment procedure by a registered conformity assessment body, or we call it CAB in Malaysia. And then the CAB will conduct a conformity assessment based on the requirements prescribed in the Act and regulation. In Malaysia, there are 2 pathways, routes that they can go into. One is through the verification pathway or a simplified assessment. The second one is full conformity assessment. So the medical devices that have been approved in the countries recognized by MDA, competent authority recognized by MDA, such as Japan MHLW, UK MHRA, US FDA, PGA Australia has Canada may undergo this abridged processes for verification pathway. Without the approval from these competent authorities, it has to go for full conformity assessment. So once CAB has conducted the assessment and issue a certificate and report of conformity, and then the establishment will apply to MBA through our online system. MBA will conduct an evaluation and issue a certificate and put the medical device and the register for 5 years. These are the list of approval types recognized by MDA as of now. In the circular, we have 6 competent authorities, and then we are going to add another 3 countries through our reciprocal reliance initiative. MDA has successfully established a mutual recognition agreement to recognize with Thai FDA, HSA Singapore, and as well as Kemenkes Indonesia to recognize each other regulatory decisions. So through this collaboration, we enable streamlined conformity assessment process. We can reduce regulatory duplication and faster access of medical device in the market. So later on, the approval from these 3 ASEAN countries can go through verification pathways in Malaysia as well. Then sharing our risk-based classification is also harmonized and in line with the global practice. And in Malaysia, we have grouping system to facilitate efficient registration and streamlining administrative burden. So we have they can establishment can go for single, family, system, set, or in vitro test kit or cluster depending on how they want to manage the applications. Okay, just to highlight about the requirements here, Class A is exempted from conformity assessment by a registered conformity assessment body, and then the pre-market documentation requirement covers 4 conformity assessment elements: quality management system, we recognize ISO 12485, MDSAP, US FDA QSR, Japan MHLW Ordinance 169. And then CSDT, and then risk analysis, post-market, as well as DOC. The CABs, when they conduct conformity assessment, they have to look at these 4 elements. This the summary of the overall processes in Malaysia. Depending on the class of medical devices, the regulatory overview stringent as the classes goes up. So establishment need to prepare the documentation, and then need to be licensed, and then conduct conformity assessment, comply with the quality management system, post-market, technical documentation, DOC, and then MDA review the applications and put in the register for 5 years. For establishment license, the validity is 3 years. Our timeline for reviewing is for Class A is 14 to 20 working days. For Class B, C, and D is 30 working days upon submission of complete documents. In sharing, we have a registry called Registered Medical Device Search. It's called Medical Device Authority Register. In our portal, where user can also check whether the device is registered or not registered by entering the registration number, the device name. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Can we proceed to the next presentation? Yeah. So let us continue with the second presentation from Malaysia with the title on registration and monitoring of conformity assessment body in Malaysia. And this presentation will be delivered by Mr. Fadlullah, the Senior Assistant Director from Pre-Market Control Division of MDA. Okay. Over to you, Mr. Fadlullah.
Okay.
The inconvenience, I think we can start.
Okay. All right. Testing. 1, 2, 3. So first of all, on behalf of MDA, I would like to apologize on the technical glitch happening. We have tried our best this morning. We prepared all the things and things happened. So this is, we are going to continue with the presentation. So everybody is greeting in Japanese this morning. So I will try my best. Okay. So, minasan, ohayo gozaimasu. Yokoso Malaysia. So I hope that my sentence is really good in pronunciation. Okay, so I'm going to continue my presentation today. My name is Muhammad Fadullah bin Abdalim. I'm coming from CAB Registration Unit, who is overseeing the CAB regulatory framework in Malaysia. Okay, so without further ado, this is our regulatory overview of the medical device in Malaysia. So I would like to recap again my colleague who presented this morning. So we have MDA overview. So MDA is regulating the medical devices in Malaysia, and then we have own regulatory framework. So MDA oversees regulation together with the Act 737 and also MDR 2012. And then my unit is CAB Registration Unit Responsibility. So we are tasked with various compliance rules related to CAB. That one is number 3. And then number 4, we register medical device CAB registration and also monitoring of CAB, and then continue with the personnel registration. Number 5, and then number 6, we conducting inspection to ensure compliance with all the regulations. So this is the overall overview CAB registration under the Act 737. So now I would like to recap again. So it comes where there's the power of CAB through our Act 737. So we have here Act 737 actually establishes the legal framework for the regulation of medical devices in Malaysia. We ensure the safety and also the performance of medical devices. And then coming from that Act 737, we have sections 10 until 14. So this is where the Act outlined the registration process of conformity assessment, and we define their operational powers. And then coming together with our medical device regulation 2012, so from regulation 8 until 10, and also the 4th schedule. So we specify all the requirements on how we are going to register conformity assessment body. And then we elaborated more with our guidance document 0023. So from here, we provide essential criteria for registration of personnel, competency, and also conformity assessment procedures and its quality management system. Finally, how do we monitor our CAB? So we perform inspections. So we have lots of inspections, which I will be presenting in the next slide. And then here, our workflow. This is our structured process for registering conformity assessment body in Malaysia. So we receive application from a new CAB, and then we do assessment for registration. And then once registered, we will do annual surveillance inspection. And then after 3 years, there will be renewal assessment. And it comes again back with the application. So from here, based on the assessment for registration, so this is the type of documented based assessment by MDA. So we, as you can see from the left-hand side, every registration requirement. So we have here 4 requirements. The first one is that requirements on organization. So we check organization structure and also responsibility. Second, requirement on resources and technical competency. Here it comes, the auditors, technical personnel, and also technical experts. And then requirement on independence and impartiality. So we emphasize more on this one, the requirements on independence and impartiality. So we would like to see zero conflict of interest coming from the CAB. And then finally, requirement on QMS. This means that the QMS of the CAB itself. Okay, so all of these requirements are actually mirroring the ISO IC 17021-1. Okay, so after that, when we review all the documents, we will go for on-site inspection. And most probably will be on witness audit for news AB. After that, all the reports will be going through our internal approval committee. So we have 2 types of committees. The first one is that the Technical Evaluation Committee, we call it TECAP. And finally, will be approved by a CAB Approval Committee, we call it CABAC. And then if we see that this requirement has been fulfilled, so we will register that CAB registration under Act 737. So the KPI time frame is actually 120 days. Most of our registered CAB, we successfully managed to register them under 80 days. Okay, so but this is our KPI time frame, 120 days. So we have here registration checklist link. Let me try whether we can provide the link. So we have 14 pages comprehensive checklist that is not being filled out yet. It's already 14 pages. So these are the checklists that we use to evaluate fresh application of CAB. Maybe you can scroll down to be. Yeah, so we have so many elements. We most probably it will be 68 elements during our assessment. Okay, thank you. Going back to the next slide. And next page. Okay. Now I'm going to emphasize more on how we regulate the CAB. So these are the 4 elements, one by one. The first one is that establish a legal entity in Malaysia. So this is our unique requirement. So CAB must be a registered Malaysian legal entity and must hold liability insurance coverage of at least 500,000 Malaysian ringgit. So that one is equivalent to the 17.5 million Japanese yen. Okay, that one is the insurance coverage. And then second one, CAB has to appoint a person responsible, which is a Malaysian person responsible, must be appointed to oversee compliance of operational integrity within the CAB framework. This is why, because we always call CAB for a meeting, so that's why we need a Malaysian person responsible. Immediately, we can call them for a meeting or discussion. And then, to ensure qualified personnel, CAB must have competent auditors, technical personnel, and also experts to maintain high standard in assessment and evaluation. So, I'm going to emphasize this one in my next slide. And then to implement a QMS, a quality management system, that one must be aligned with ISO 9001 or ISO IC 17021-1. to ensure quality and efficiency in operation. So for your information, through our guidance document, we let them to choose whether they want to go for QMS, whether it is ISO 9001 or ISO IC 17021. But most of our registered CAB, they follow 17021. So they have this kind of selection. Next page. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the personnel of the CAB. So we have 3 types of personnel. The first one is that auditors, I put it as A, and then technical personnel, TP, and then we have technical experts. So auditors is actually performing audits for clients' quality management system. For example, we have 1345 and also local requirement, we have GDPMD. And technical personnel, they perform conformity assessment on technical documentation and also declaration of conformity. While for technical experts, they advise during the audits. They are not doing the audits or making the reports, but they are advising the auditing team. So the first one, we have here education requirements. So for auditors and technical personnel, they should have bachelor's degree in a relevant field. And then I'm going to talk about the experience needed for that technical personnel. Number 3, training mandates. And number 4, competency maintenance. So I think go to the next slide. Yeah, this is one by one. So I'm going to talk first about education requirements. The first one, education requirements. So here, as I mentioned just now, they should produce this education background. For example, electrical, electronic engineering, biomedical engineering, medical technology, mechanical engineering. So we have down there other relevant fields. Relevant fields means that usually we call them for interviews. So we have candidates actually not coming from this list. For example, we have husbandry science. So husbandry science is actually related to animal studies. So we have to call them for an interview so that we can register them under the Act 737. Okay, so these are the requirements. While for technical expert, they should have diploma or post-secondary school, but they have to show to us 8 years relevant technical experience. Okay, so the next slide will be the experience requirement. So we have here for auditors, they have to complete 4 audits as trainee auditor with minimum 20 days. That 50% must come from ISO 1345. That is the auditor requirement. While for technical personnel, they have to show to us 4 years in medical device industry with 2 years technical assessment capabilities. And then for technical expert, They have to show to us 8 years in relevant technical field or 5 years plus 3 weeks training with exam. That training is actually coming from the manufacturer itself, so product specific. So we require them to attend 3 weeks technical training with exam. So as shown on the slide, I put in the actual submitted audit log and also actual submitted competency metrics. So these are the regulatory documents that usually will be provided by this AB, and then we are going to table this one through our committee meetings. Okay, next slide. Now I'm going to talk about training requirements. So we have here, for auditor and technical personnel, 1345, they have to attend 1345 day auditor, which means a 5-day attending the training, or they have to attend 2 days add-on training if already certified, already trained with 9001. Means here, they attended 9001, did auditor course for 5 days, but they have to add in 2 days ISO 1345 training. While the next one that we require attendance for the training is ISO 14971, 1-day training. And then MDA sanction training is CAB training. We call it as proficiency training. So this is our special training organized by MDA. We do it for 4 days directly. Once a applicant wants to be registered under the Act 737. And then for technical expert, as I mentioned just now, they have to attend another 3 weeks technical training from OEM or manufacturer and then certified provider with assessment. So I'm going to emphasize more about our proficiency training module. So as you can see, we have 4 comprehensive days. The first 2 days, we have 1 to 2. We are going to talk about legislative and also quality system requirements. So we put here, we teach them on how to register as a CAB. The first one is Medical Device Act 737, Medical Device Regulation, and then we emphasize on circular letters, guidelines, and also guidance document. And then our own regulatory requirements, Pmda, and also ISO 13485, conformity assessment procedure based on our third schedule from MDR 2012, and then verification based on our circular letters. And then finally, at the end of the day, for day 1 and 2, CAB registration requirements. And then they have to sit for an exam. We call it as proficiency examination. And then for day 3 and 4, we are going to talk about definitely on medical device registration under the Act 737. So we introduce these modules, classification, rules, and risk grouping for general and IVD medical devices, and then common submission dossier template, CSDT, essential principle and safety performance, and finally practical exercise and case studies. So we make them into groups, we give them questions so that they can discuss in groups, and then finally end up with proficiency examination. Okay, so related to our proficiency examination, that one is quite unique. So the examination mark is actually 100%. They have to pass. If they want to be registered under the Act 737, they have to pass with the mark 80% so that they can be issued with the certificate of proficiency. And then with that certificate of proficiency, then they can be registered under the Act 737. If they fail, it means that they possess the mark 79% below. So they cannot be registered under the Act 737. So the question is, most of them is 40 multiple choice questions. So they have to answer all the questions in 1 hour and 50 minutes. Okay, that is how we regulate the auditor at the first place before registration. Okay, I think next slide. So competency maintenance. So we have here, they have to show minimum 2 audits per validity period. It means that they have been registered for 3 years. Now it comes to maintain their competency. So they have to show this one, minimum 2 audits per validity period, ongoing professional development activities, and then they have to provide proof of active engagement in technical area upon renewal. So I highlighted here, the knowledge of relevant product standards in the assessment of medical devices, and also knowledge of medical device business or technology. So as you can see, auditor and also technical personnel, they have to fulfill all of these requirements so that they can be maintained under the Act 737 after 3 years. Here the next slide. So now here comes the last presentation about how we monitor our CAB. So these are the types of inspection for CAB monitoring. So we have 4 types of inspection. The first one, during fresh application, we will do registration inspection. So this one conducted for new CMB application to verify compliance with registration requirements. And then we have second, surveillance inspection. Once being registered, we will perform this kind of inspection, surveillance. So perform annually to monitor ongoing compliance of registered CAB. Third, re-registration inspection. This will be conducted within third year cycle, evaluate continued eligibility for registration. And finally, we have special inspection. This one is unannounced or complaint-triggered inspection to address specific concern or issues. So based on all of these inspection, how we execute, so we have a special checklist based for this inspection. We follow directly the 4th schedule of MDR 2012 and also elaborated more together with our guideline 0023 for a comprehensive assessment. And then during our on-site review, we examine organization structure, personnel competency, and also the CAB quality management system and all the process workflows. Okay, next slide. So, how to see the effective of the inspection during our inspection session. So here, the first one, we introduce compliance rate calculation. This is not a performance rate, it's actually compliance rate. All CAB must comply to all the requirements as stated in our Act 737 and also MDR 2012. So we introduce this one, mathematical formula determining CAB compliance based on findings, also observation against total inspection. So we this one, findings and observation means non-compliance. So we raise them with the findings of the term. Findings are actually measure, so they have to make correction immediately. And observation together with all the requirements against the elements. So we also introduce grading scale. So we have 5-tier rating system from excellent, which means 90% and 100% above, to poor, 60% below, with consequences for underperformance. So if they possess this kind of grading scale, 60% below, so there will be a special inspection, okay, after 6 months. The non-compliance action, so yeah, as mentioned just now, poor grades trigger corrective action, follow-up inspection, and potential suspension of CAB registration if they possess marks 60% and below. And then, what about our inspection elements? So we assess, which covers organization structure, personnel competency, the CAB quality management system, and also all the process they implemented to their clients. Okay, next. So here is that our overall statistic until July 20th, 2025. So we managed to register 23 CABs. We start off in 2013 with 5 CABs. Now we have 23 CABs. And then overall registered technical personnel, we have 73 technical personnel with medical device technical areas. And then overall registered auditors for ISO 3045 and Pmda, we have 120 auditors. And overall registered scope, which means that active, non-active, everything until IBD medical devices. So we have 392 scopes. Okay, that covers all the registered technical personnel. Okay, next slide. So I think that's all from me regarding the registration requirement of a CAB under the Act 737. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fahmullah, for the detailed explanation on how MDA regulate the conformity assessment body who is doing the conformity assessment process. So let us continue with the presentation on medical device registration requirement and process in Japan to be delivered by Pmda. Okay.
Excuse me. Before moving to the Mr. Shime's presentation, may we ask some questions to the MBA presentation? Okay.
Okay, yes, I have one question. We already understand what is the MDA doing for the controlling CAB, but you say what actually the MDA doing for the registration of medical devices? I understand that CAB doing some technical review, but in case of MDA, what kind of the review process of your MDA?
Okay, before for class B, C, D, so these three classes before registered, submitted, before application for registration submitted to MDA, they're required to appoint CAB for the purpose of conducting conformity assessment body, find a conformity assessment procedure. So finally, the CAB will issue a conformity assessment report with the certificate. So what are we doing? So in our perspective for regulator on MDA, the conformity assessment report will be reviewed by regulator. Okay, so it is not like the whole application that already undergone CAB will be approved automated by the regulator. So again, we will go back, review verified the report that issued by a CAB. So are there with reference the exact report reference document, giving example if there, because our verification report we have not shared with you, we have a template of verification report and also full conformity assessment report. There are two different reports that will be submitted to MDA. So what we are looking into, are they quoting a correct reference in their report? So for example, if undergone or preclinical study related, so what are the reference report that they are looking into? So meaning to say that we are actually verifying the report issued by the CAB. Okay?
I have some other questions, okay? In Malaysia, you have verification pathway and also the through assessment pathway. So I would like to know the ratio of the both pathways. Which one is much bigger, and how much the percentage of the verification pathway and the other, the through assessment pathway.
Which one is dominant submitted to Malaysia?
Also the ratio.
Okay, mostly it's a verification. Okay, mostly verification. Yeah. So if you revisit back our slide, there are two pathway. Verification pathway that actually is a bridge process. Okay, it's a bridge process, a bridge route. So this is a bridge route with reference to the recognized country that we have specified. So one of it is Japan. So most of the devices imported to Malaysia, they are from the recognized country. Okay, so most of the submission in our database is coming through verification route. Okay, but lately we can see there are spark in terms of full conformity assessment. Why? Because they are now more in towards the innovative medical device. So this is the thing that I think regulators should pay attention. How do we want to have an approach, a common approach related to innovative medical device? So innovative medical device is one thing that I believe globally is actively being discussed. Japan also have a different way in terms of tackling the innovative medical device. So we do have from Singapore, from other Australia. We have dedicated forum actually last year discussed about submission for innovative medical device. So this is actually one thing that challenges regulator. So if innovative medical device, definitely there will not be any pre-market approval from the recognized country. It's totally innovative. So there will be, this is the thing that regulator will need to have some more discussion, I think. Okay.
Thank you. The other one is to promote the reliance. I think how do you keep consistency of the nomenclature of different countries? Like it's very difficult to how can I see the one is in other countries nomenclature is to the other countries nomenclature. Do you have any indicator for that?
When we're talking about reliance, definitely we will look into the final outcome. So what is the final outcome issued by the regulator? For example, in our cases, we will identify the certificate issued from each reference country that we recognize. Also, for example, in this perspective of reliance, now we are looking into, we have explored many ASEAN countries, and then we already established reciprocal reliance recently with Singapore, Thailand, and Indonesia. So what we're looking into, we need to understand the certificate that they issued. So that certificate, usually they have a reference number or nomenclature related. So if with that particular information, it must be matched the submission to Malaysia. Okay, so what is the CAB role here? So before they conduct assessment, allowing this under verification route, they must ensuring the certificate that paid by the company exactly the same submission that they will submit to MDA. Okay, so what they are verifying the final cert that issued from the respected regulator. So in our experience, the regulator will put all these nomenclature related as the appendices. For example, like Singapore, they will put as a listed in their portal itself. So Thailand also they are issuing it in their appendixes. So we are referring to that. So the CAB must ensure the submission to MDA is similar nomenclature noted in their registration certificate. Okay.
So in Malaysia, do you have your original nomenclature list?
We are following GMDM. Yeah, GMDM. But we are now will be implementing UDI by phases.
Okay, thank you.
Can I still continue the question? Yeah. Is there any issues regarding the registration of medical device in Malaysia? What is the biggest issue for the registration of medical device in your country?
If talking about issue, I think it's a good term we have to refer as a challenge as regulator. Issue there we have a lot of issue, but when talking about issue, we understood that what is the main thing for regulator is actually to understand both how do we do our work. So for example, I think we are promoting the reliance because if we understood other regulator, how they do assessment, finally, what is the criteria they're looking into, so we build up the trust. So when we build up the trust and it's come to our own practicing, so we understood what is the other regulator have done. So we already addressed all the issue. I think it's about trust for both regulator. So we are talking about issue, this is always about trust. We are talking about how do they do this? Because before Malaysia entered many negotiation of reliance, we are actually just acknowledge or recognize reference country that previously from GHTF. So when we are very actively looking into all other aspects promoting reliance, so this is the thing that we observe. The issue is coming when we are not understand what is regulator, the other counterpart is doing. So if we understand and we're confident the process, I think most of it is already been settled. So, but I always refer as a challenge, new technology. That is a more like that we have to engage more dialogue. How do we want to get the new technology, AI, SMD, so all these things is innovative medical device. So I think this is we have to promote that area now rather than addressing the conventional way of doing assessment, because I think everyone in the regulator perspective, we are doing almost similar. We are also looking into the criteria of registration, also similar. So most of that is actually been addressed. So now we are moving into this kind of challenge regulator now. So issue not much, but in terms of understanding, when we understand both regulator of doing things, I think we manage to address most of the issue. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Then probably that's related to my previous question, but if you have I would like to know about the capacity building of MDA. So if you have any request for the PMDA to conduct, the training, please let us know your request. It's not necessary to say answer right now. We can write down and then send the email to us later.
Like to explore on IDA 10, the SEMD IDA 10. So because this is I have a chance talking to Dr. I forgot the name in Singapore last year. So Yamaduka, yeah, he's actually explained to me on about the IDA 10. So I think MDA would like to explore on that IDA 10 further details. So how is actually Japan's taken care under program of IDA 10? Okay.
Yeah. Actually, Mr. Shimizu will present about IDA 10. Okay, so shall we move to our presentation? And for we suppose the MDA colleague already know about our system, the regulatory system in Japan. So now our presentation focus on our most recent activities. Okay.
Selamat pagi. Okay, so just a moment. Yeah, just a moment, please. Please, a little late. Oke. Selamat pagi. Nama saya Kaito. Terima kasih. Thank you. So I would like to briefly introduce medical device registration requirements and processes in Japan. And here is today's agenda. Okay. And for medical devices, the regulatory pathway are determined based on their classification in Japan. And the classification is based on the GHTA guideline. There are 4 classes. Class 1 is extremely low risk, and Class 4 is highest risk. Pre-market notification applies to Class 1 medical devices. This is one-way process. The applicant must submit the notification to PMDA. The notification does not involve any reviews of its contents. However, the effectiveness and safety of the medical devices must be ensured by the company itself. Pre-market certification applies to most of Class 2 and few Class 3 medical devices. In this pathway, a third-party certification body recognized by the ministry will review the application only if it complies with certified criteria. And pre-market approval applies to medical devices that are not subject to pre-market notification or pre-market certification. In this pathway, Pmda reviews the application and the ministry approves marketing of the medical devices. And next, this slide shows comparison of pre-market review US, EU, and Japan. There are some differences between US, EU, and Japan, and the framework of Japanese pre-market legislation was developed on the regulation of US plus 2 and EU plus 2 and US plus 3 and 4. Okay, and next slide, just a moment. Just freeze, sorry. And we use medical device nomenclature called JMDN. JMDN was developed based on 2003 version of Global Medical Device Nomenclature, or GMDN in short, implemented in 2005 and have been revised from time to time since then. Each medical device is identified by JMDN. JMDN is mapped to the list-based classification shown in this table. The table includes generic name, definition, and JMDN code and corresponding classification. So therefore, list-based classification of a medical device can be identified by JMDN. And next slide. So the next slide shows the number of medical devices approved by MHLW. So, sorry, just increasing now. Okay. So the number of certification by the recognized third parties will be shown on the next slide. So products certified by these parties are not included in these numbers. So numbers of brand new MDs priority is about 1 to 4. And the number of brand new medical devices regular is 20 to 30. While improved MDs are around 200. Also, generic MDs are around 600 to 700. And the next slide shows the number of certifications issued by the recognized third parties. So currently, there are 10 recognized third parties, and the 1 in 4 on the slide are based on overseas. So as you can see, the majority of products are certified with these foreign-based third parties, which account for a large proportion of the market. And next slide specifically shows the number of approvals summaries. So the number of approved SAMD has changed over time. Since the SAMD regulation launched in 2014, approvals have steadily increased. To date, 285 SAMD have been approved, not including those certified through third parties. And the next slide represents various types of accelerated review system in Japan. Just a moment. So this slide shows various types of accelerated review system in Japan. And this system applies products that have a high medical needs, such as serious disease, rare disease, and innovativeness. And finally, I'd like to introduce the PMDA current approach to innovative products such as SAMD. So this slide shows a two-step approval approach. So generally, regulatory approval requires the efficacy and safety of a product to be confirmed through hypothesis-driven confirmatory trials based on its intended use. These trials rely on statistical methods to test specific hypotheses. To design such a trial, it's first necessary to understand the expected effective size and of the product, typically through an exploratory study. In the two-step approach, the first approval is granted based on the results of this exploratory study within the demonstrated range of efficacy and safety. The second approval, similar to conventional approval, is obtained later based on accumulated clinical experience. So this approach allows SAMD to enter the market earlier. However, the scope of claim at the time of launch is limited to what can be supported by the exploratory data. So developers can consider which path, traditional or two steps, better suits their development strategy. And this is us. So in 2020, Japan introduced a system called IDA-10, short for Improvement Design with Approval for Timely Evaluation and Notification, which facilitates efficient post-marketing modification to medical devices, including SAMD. This system is similar to FDA's Predetermined Change Control Plan, PCCP. So under IDA-10, manufacturer can submit a predefined change plan during the initial review process, specifying how they intend to update or improve the product after it is on the market. So if these post-market changes fall within the scope of the product plan, they can be implemented as simple notification to PMDA, and rather than a new formal approval application. This is particularly beneficial for SAMD using machine learning, where performance updates are often necessary. So PMDA will evaluate whether the change aligns with the pre-approved plan, and if they meet the predefined performance target, typically within 30 days. If the criteria are satisfied, the change are accepted. So this is summary, and so at some moment it is freezing. So first, regarding medical device regulation in Japan, class 3 and 4 is mainly MHLW approval and PMDA review. And class 2 is mainly third-party certification. And the framework of Japanese pre-market regulation was developed on the regulation of EU and US. The framework of Japanese approval certification system for medical devices is recommended as a WHO global model framework. And each medical device is identifiable by JMDN. JMDN was developed based on 2003 version of GMDN. And I introduced new issues, respond to AI, ML, medical devices, and application of PACMP. It means IDA-10. So two-step approval scheme for SAMD to market the product in Japan rapidly. And introduction of PCMP, which enable continuous, timely improvements, so product life cycle. And improving the response capacity of each staff member is essential. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for that presentation, I find some similarities between Malaysia and Japan. Mainly the approval for Malaysia, the class 1 or class A is directly from the regulators. We do review and we approve. And then for class B, C, D, it's the two steps. First is CAB, and the approval comes from the MDA. That means all the approvals come from the MDA. Whereas in Japan, like for class 2, you have the third party. Third party for us is like CP, right? But here you follow the EU model. The third party issue the approval. That's the difference. And then of course 3, 4 comes under the ministry. This is the similar framework. I think we can work together to find the similarity that we can match with for Reliance or maybe in the future, to talk about mutual recognition and so on. That will be very helpful for this. As well as the JMDN, it's a good initiative. I think it's based on GMDN. Right? For Malaysia, we are using the GMDN now, and there is no plan to develop MMDN, for now. So we will be using the GMDN for now, I guess, because more harmonized at the global level. So when we talk about reliance, it's easier to refer to those kind of thing. And I agree that improving the response capacity is very, very important. That's why even we have two steps approval, time frame, the KPI is very, very important. So far for CABs, we give like within 1 month to 2 months for them to give the appropriate auditing and the certificates and so on. So far, for verification route. For verification route, you have to do it that within that period of time. So normally it will be around 30 days, right, 1 month. And then comes to MDA, for class A, we give 14 days. For BCD, within 30 days that we give the approvals. So far, MDA is the fastest issuing agency for the approvals in the world, that we can give it within 30 days, mainly because a part of it, the CAB is already done the work, and then when it comes to MDA, we do the review. So we don't do the assessment again, so we do the review, so it makes it faster. And of course, the number of officers that we have, and also the capacity. So we do more trainings. We send them for more training so that they understand. And when do the evaluation, is faster approval and faster evaluation can be done, either IVD or GMD. So I think we have the similar there to work with. That's a comment for. Any questions? Any on the questions? Any questions on the registration in Japan? Esther? Yeah. So on this one, any questions? No? Okay. No. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, morning. My name is Sunyati. Regarding the slide for the accelerated review system in Japan, there's a Sakikage for the innovative medical device. In your slide just now, in your presentation, you also presented about the tools that were proven for the SAMD. Does SAMD is categorized under Sakikage road? My question.
Excuse me, could you repeat after what you mentioned about the 2 steps, please?
Okay. Okay.
Which slide are you talking about?
Accelerated review system.
Yes.
Mana number? Page 9. Okay, page 9.
Thank you.
Okay.
And could you repeat your question after
Okay.
you mentioned about the two steps?
Okay. Question. Okay. So my question on slide page number 9 and 10. Okay. So slide number 10 is referring to step approval for SEMD. Does SEMD approval referring to Sakikage route?
Certification. Yes, thank you for, yes, thank you. 質問なんですけれども、スライドページ、9と10なんですけれども、スライド、すいません。レビューシステムについてなんですけれども、アクセプタンスの。で、イノベーティブデバイスについてになるんですけれども、SAMD では、先駆けのアプローバルのサーティフィケーションのことについて教えてください。すいません。先駆けに、を参照して、先駆けを、参考にとって、アプローバルっていうのを行っているんでしょうかというのが質問です。
答えていいですか。おそらく事例はまだないかもしれないですけれども、SAMD に対して先駆けパスウェイを使うことはできると思います。
Although there have not been any examples yet, I think it will be possible to use the sakigake pathway against SAMD.
参考までにですけれども、先駆けパスウェイというのは、世界で先駆けて医療機器の承認を日本で行うために、迅速に承認を行うものでございます。
Yes, for your reference, the name sakigake pathway means accelerating the regulatory approval in advance of other countries in order to make a speedy certification in the country.
このパスウェイの中では PMDA のスタッフが申請のサポートをして、あと迅速に事前のコンサルテーションを行い、また迅速なレビューを行うというものです。
Yes, in this pathway, what we perform is PMDA supports the applicant's application, and we do a smooth and a speedy consultation and review process.
今回のスライドでは説明をしておりませんが、必要でしたら追加でスライド等提供可能ですので、よろしくお願いいたします。
Although I have not gone into details with regards to explanation in this slide, I will be able to provide you some information. So if you need more information, please let us know.
すみません。追加で、
先駆け、2段階承認は先駆けをリファーしているのかというご質問があったと思うんですが、いただきます。
Additionally, I think your question referred to the two-step certification process in Sakigake.
先駆けというのは、ディスグネーション、指定をされて、使える、先駆け指定をされて使えるシステムですが、2段階承認はそうではないので、別なものと考えていただければと思います。ただ、石橋、さんがおっしゃっていたように、今後もしかすると、両方を使うようなものも出てくるかもしれませんが、制度としては別なものであることをご理解ください。
While Sakigake uses a designated system or structure, the two-step process is a different kind of structure that we have. But as Ishibashi-san has mentioned earlier, there may be an opportunity where both systems can be used in the future. That's all from us.
Thank you for that clarification. We understand that Sakigake can be used for the software as AMD also, and for more also for IDA10 and also the PSE. Thank you for that. Maybe we can continue for the next presentation. Yes.
Yes, we received 8 questions in advance of this meeting, and we prepared an answer to that question, but because of the time constraints, maybe we will share our answer by email. Is it okay?
May I start? Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kenichi Shibashi, and I'm responsible for MDSAP in Pmda in Japan. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak about MDSAP today. This morning, I would like to provide a brief update on MDSAP and recent initiatives in Japan. This is the explanation slide for MDSAP. I don't believe that a detailed explanation of the framework is necessary at this time, but MDSAP is a program developed based on discussion within the IMDLF, aiming to streamline QMS audits for medical devices. I won't be able to go into detail today, but please note that a new MDSAP website was launched in May. So I encourage you to take a look at this website. MDSAP is now a global program with participation from over 7,000 manufacturing sites worldwide. This slide shows the number of sites by country. As you can see, Malaysia ranks 15th globally in terms of the number of the sites, just after Australia. And it has the highest number among ASEAN countries. There is a distribution of countries participating in MDSAP. As you can see, in ASEAN region, aside from Singapore, there have not been any countries that are members of MDSAP so far. Promoting MDSAP in Asia region has been one of Japan's responsibilities as MDSAP RAC member representing the region. For this reason, we have started outreach efforts for MDSAP beginning this year. There is an overview of Japan's recent outreach initiatives regarding MDSAP in Asia region. So far, we have participated in workshops and seminars focused on Asian region in Sri Lanka and Indonesia, where we delivered presentations on MDSAP. Each of these occasions provided valuable opportunities to speak directly with regulatory authorities from across Asia. In addition, Japan will be hosting the MDSAP Forum in 2026 for the first time. It will be held in the Asian region. This initiative was proposed by Japan and endorsed by the MDSAP members as part of the efforts to promote MDSAP within Asia. This decision was made in this June, and other MDSAP member countries expressed their full support for Japan's proposal. The forum is scheduled for the week of June 15th, and while the exact location has not yet been decided, we are currently making arrangements to hold it in Kyoto, a city well known as a tourist destination. We expect participation from over 100 regulators and industry representatives from more than 20 countries around the world, and we are fully committed to preparing for this important event. We'll be truly delighted if MDA representatives could take this opportunity to visit Japan next year. We understand that MDA is currently preparing to apply for affiliate membership in MDSAP. As a leading country in ASEAN, Japan would warmly welcome your participation and influence within the program. We sincerely hope that you will join as affiliate member, and we can further promote the use of MDSAP in Asia region. Should you require any assistance with your application, Japan is more than willing to support you, so please don't hesitate to ask us. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Okay. Yes, as you mentioned just now, Malaysia is now in the process of applying to become affiliate member of MDSAP, and we will present our application during the MDSAP Forum 2025 to be held in Sapporo, back to back with IMDRF. And Madam Aidawati will be there.
Thank you. We welcome you.
So now can we move on to the next agenda on discussion of preparation of MOC, Memorandum of Cooperation. Okay, we have submitted to PMDA on the draft of MOC that has been vetted through by our legal advisor. Okay, on the overall text, we are okay with the Japan proposal, but the only thing we would like to propose the additional on the scope of cooperation by including the post-market, the cooperation for post-market information exchange, and also the bilateral channels in the field of medical device.
Okay, thank you very much for your comments on the draft MOC. And as you explained, we understand that your point is to add the bilateral channel cooperation and post-marketing areas. For the bilateral communication, so this is a bilateral MOC, so that is kind of obvious about the bilateral cooperation and communication, but we'd like to hear Malaysian side idea on what kind of post-market cooperation you imagined on this addition.
Okay, just want to share with Japan. Okay, since as MDA has entered into several memorandum of understanding bilaterally with other countries such as Czech Republic. The next one is with NAMPA and MPA China. Okay, and the third one is with the MFDS Korea. Okay, we feel that the post-market information exchange, cooperation in the post-market information exchange is necessary. It's a needs for us, for each country, so that we can share with those countries. Because at the what you call it, the multilateral fora, such as GHWP, we have the specific post-market information exchange that we call it as SADS. And at the ASEAN platform, AMDC platform, we have developed the post-market information exchange, the guideline. Okay. And currently, there is no multiforal platform between MDA and GHWP that we have this kind of opportunity. That's why we feel that we want Japan to consider by including this scope of cooperation under our MOC. And at the moment, okay, since MDA also participating at the APEC multiforal platform, and based on the previous when we attended the previous APEC RHSC, this post-market information exchange were not included under the APEC platform agenda.
Partially.
Any comments from online? Okay, thank you very much. For clarification, so you mean the post-market information mean the post-market safety information, or it also include the post-market change or other post-market information?
For post-market information, example like MPR, Mandatory Problem Reporting, recall, or field corrective action, FCA. The information about that three field corrective action.
So basically, so we call information the field correction information. Oh.
So we are referring to the post-market information here. We're referring to the safety and the performance issues that highlighted between Japan and Malaysia. So if let's say there is a safety issue being highlighted in Japan, we can share the same information with Malaysia. So if let's say that product coming into Malaysia or registered in Malaysia, please be alert and we know what will be the safety issue related to that product so we can take action accordingly. So same goes to Malaysia. If we have safety issues, certain product, we can share the information with you so that you'll be alert. These are the safety issues that are ongoing with the particular products. So that kind of information exchange that we are looking at.
Okay, thank you very much. So now, Sherry, so your proposal now we understand the background and some details about it. So please let me consult your proposed this addition with my colleagues back in Japan. And another question is about bilateral communication. So do you have any specific items or some areas in your mind, or just this is so MOC and multilateral is mentioned? So just to add the bilateral communication in line with the multilateral communication.
What we're referring to is that kind of like a joint cooperation when it comes to, for example, in IMDRF or even in GHWP. If there is matters that we can support each other, that is the collaboration or the cooperation that we request from Japan and with Malaysia, so that any issues that highlighted under the MDRF or GHWP, we can talk together and we come up with a unified stand. So that is the cooperation that we are looking at. When it comes to multilateral fora or even the bilateral channels. Bilateral channels, even in APEC, for example, right now Japan is the chair for the APEC, RSEC. If there is any proposals, there is any suggestions that we can talk to each other and we can support each other at that level. So that's what we are looking at.
Thank you very much for your explanation. So now I understand so your point. So, but let me reconsider how to write that concept into the MOC. Yeah. Thank you very much. Any other comments, question from online participants from Japan?
Yeah. Okay. Any question from our side, the MOC or anything? Kollela? Any questions from our side?
Okay. So, can we move on the proposed date for the MOC signing ceremony between Malaysia and Japan? Okay. Since Dr. Muralidharan will not be attending the IMDRF meeting in Sapporo, so we are proposing for the MOC signing ceremony will be held somewhere in the middle November in your country, in Tokyo. Middle November.
So, can I ask?
Just one question regarding the scope before you go to the signing, scope of the cooperation. One of the things I like is post-market and the multilateral fora and also pre-market. I think is not highlighted. So maybe we could discuss about the pre-market kind of like arrangements, like a bridge process or the reliance between Japan and Malaysia. We can have that kind of language there maybe.
Okay. Can we confirm whether the scope for pre-market can be included under the scientific collaboration?
Oh, you mean to add the pre-market or
Tak boleh.
What we are proposing is for pre-market approvals between both countries, like age process, can we also include something to work between Malaysia and Japan on a pre-market approval for like reliance or a bridge process?
just a moment.
Yeah, yes.
So may I confirm your may I confirm your question? In the current MOC, there is one of the first scope is a scientific collaboration. So this means the reliance that you are.
We need clarification.
Your question is whether this scientific collaboration includes the
Reliance,
reliance or average pathway or I think.
right.
Yeah.
Sorry for long consultation between Japanese. But basically, so the MOC set the overall framework. So it may not necessarily be so specific or prescriptive. So I think that the overall framework is one step, so we can do within that overall framework. So maybe we do not so much a detailed section in here, but of course, we would like to discuss with the details of cooperation. But for the MOC level, that is the overall framework in the MOC. I think it's enough. But we welcome your additional edits on our current draft MOC.
Thank you for that. Maybe we can add some wordings in the MOC to say that we can explore the reliance or pre-market cooperation with the pre-market approvals between Malaysia and Japan in the MOC. Then about the reliance, we can take it up later on in detail in a different forms. Maybe we can have some wordings there to say that for post-market we have like cooperation in multilateral forum, bilateral channel, and then a sharing on post-market information. So maybe we can have something cooperation on pre-market approvals between Japan and Malaysia. That's like framework, like overarching, and then detail about the reliance we can have a different discussion or separation. Maybe you can consider that. Right.
Thank you very much. So let's continue this discussion by emails.
Yeah, right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Right. Thank you. Any other matters? Yeah. So just now mentioned regarding this MOC, if we can finalize by November, because I'm not traveling to Sapporo on this September. I'm going for another meetings. So my senior director will be there for the MT7 and also MDRF meeting. But if Japan agree, then I'll be traveling in November to Tokyo for signing of this MOC. I mean, that's our proposal to Japan.
Thank you very much for your proposal. But the issue is we need some more work on the MOC. So we cannot say at this moment when to conclude. But thank you very much for your proposal. So let's continue the discussion about the MOC, including the timing of signing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We keep the date for now. Let's say we propose in November. If we could finish our work, because even in Malaysia we got work to do on this MOC. If we can finalize by November, then we can travel and having the signing in November. If we couldn't, then we can extend it some other time, so that at least we have a date for us to work to complete our to make it fast happens.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So move on to the next agenda on any other business. So are there any other matters that we both countries want to raise?
Yes. Right? Okay. So first, I'd like to thank MBA to join the Jive Medical Device Symposium and Seminar in this May in Jakarta. We had a symposium and a seminar about the medical device in Jakarta, and this project is a 2-year project. And so the next year we also have symposium and seminar in Jakarta again. And the topic of the next year is the post-marketing. So yeah, we'd like to invite the MBA colleagues again to the symposium and seminar. So please participate this event. And at the next month, you have the AMDC meeting, right? In Cambodia, and the Pmda colleague, Mr. Shimizu, will join there. And so please give us your requirements for the agenda or program of the symposium and seminar. Then we try to include your request to the training materials. Okay. Yeah, that's all from our side.
Thank you for the invitation. We will wait for the details of it. But definitely, I can support, and we will send our participants to Jakarta, right? So we'll send our participants to this one. Thank you for the invitation. So we'll wait for Cambodia. And just for information, in Cambodia, we will be signing an alliance with Singapore. With myself and the CEO, HSA will be signing the alliance with Singapore, Malaysia. So this is the second alliance in the world that will be signing. First, we also have signed Malaysia, China, and it's now starting to take effect. After the 30th of July, tomorrow onwards, we'll be implementing the Malaysia-China alliance under the JSWP. Here, we'll be signing and Malaysia, Singapore, and upcoming will be Malaysia, Thailand, and Malaysia, Indonesia that will be signing an alliance on that. We also negotiating, start to talk with the Dubai, with the Middle East for alliance, Dubai, and also we are talking to Egypt. Right? Egypt drug authorities about the reliance also between Malaysia and Egypt. So that and Korea, yes, Korea, we are starting to. We already signed MOC with Korea last year, no, 2023. So now we are talking about the reliance with them. So in Cambodia, there will be another very historic landmark thing in medical device, global medical device with Malaysia and Singapore, designing and reliance. Okay. So under the reliance Malaysia Singapore, we acknowledge for class B, C, D to go for a faster route, a bridge process between Malaysia and Singapore. And for class A, we are moving towards mutual recognition, MRE. So that is the arrangement for Malaysia and Singapore right now. Similar to Thailand and Indonesia. See, right. So we thank you for the invitation. We'll consider this once we receive the our details. And one more request is that since Japan is the chair for APAC, Malaysia has submitted our applications to become the COE, APAC COE, and I think it's already there in process. So, we would like to seek your cooperation and support, for the proposal that's sent by Malaysia to become the COE for this region, Southeast Asia region. So I hope Japan can consider and support in the next upcoming APEC meeting.
Our delegates are now in Korea.
Yeah, and our delegates also in Korea, and they are discussing the proposal for the COE process. So yeah, we are aware about that, and we support. Of course, we support everything.
Yeah, thank you for that. So at least we can.
From Japan side, we requested to MDA to resend or resubmit the documents.
We already done
documents. Because the first time is 5 years ago.
Yes. No, last year, 2 years ago. Then after that, APAC reviewing the TOR, and so on. So we have resubmitted this year, earlier this year. So I think this meeting, they will discuss. So you can pass the information to Yasoda-san to support the application and give the approvals if possible. All right. That's on this. And also, we seek your support also during the MDSAP this year. We will be presenting our membership proposal to MDSAP. So if Japan can support, that would be very great. And we'll be very, very happy. Thank you. So I think from my side, that's all. I don't have anything. Anything? Farida? Shira, think, Vanilla, ada belakang.
One more question for the next post-market workshop that will be organized in Jakarta. Is there any full support from the organizer for the delegates?
Yeah, for the traveling and hotel accommodation, full support. Yeah, same as this year.
How many packs that you can provide to Malaysia? Can more than four?
Four, yes.
Only four. Can we request more to add on?
Can we request 5?
We are sorry, but that project is already endorsed by the JIF, and so the budget is already decided.
So 4, right? 4. Thank you for that. I think I will send 5 people that post-market program. Thank you for that. Yes.
Okay, sorry, I would like to ask, can Japan explore for the MOC scope? We'd like to do some, in terms of the scientific research collaboration, can we put on some wording related to joint assessment on innovative medical device, some kind like collaboration on that perspective? Can we put that in the writing, in the proposal? Can we explore that one?
Thank you very much for your proposal. But actually, so the joint assessment will be not so easy Yeah, sure. So we have some different system, and of course we have different languages. So actually, considering these kind of issues, so joint assessment is a very not so easy task for include, I think.
So what we will do, we will give in writing proposal, draft wordings for the pre-market and this collaboration and for your consideration. Then maybe your side, my legal will prepare that, and then maybe you can consider or you can change or we can discuss about it later on whether we want to drop, whether to go ahead and so on. So that, right? We'll do that. Yes. Jun-san?
May I add that because in Japan we don't have the actually the joint assessment system, so we don't do that approach with any other no other countries. So what is your intention to include a joint assessment? What is the image of the joint assessment? Because in MDA you already the CAB review the application document, and then the MDA will review the report from the CAB, right? And then how are you going to apply the joint assessment in such system?
So, for example, because we are trying to explore, this is not for all devices, it's only for innovative medical device, not for all. Okay, the reason why I'm proposing this, because this is one thing that I've already highlighted in my previous discussion just now about our challenge and as a regulator to look into the innovative medical device. So, in Malaysia perspective, of course, CAB is doing all the assessment, but we are actually also involved in terms of reviewing the outcome from the CAB. So the reviewing of the outcome, this is the thing that we would like to further understanding. If we can do some kind of joint assessment, then we can have like more detailing in terms of how do Japan approach in terms of assessment on innovative medical device. Because from your presentation, you are very clear have putting innovative medical product under Sakigake. Okay, so I believe that the process is already matured in your country. So this is the thing that I feel that we can further enhance and collaborate in terms of the scientific per se in the MOC. Okay, so although the CAB is doing the review, but final is actually coming from MDA. So the reviewing final outcome and approval is from MDA. So again, the review process will be also done by the MDA. So that's why my proposal, the joint assessment is only confined to the innovative medical device. So if we can explore that one, it's beneficial for both countries to look into on this area. But I think we can go by what my CEO have approached. We can come up with a sentence. So it's up to the Japanese counterpart to look into. But if possible, we can find a way how to collaborate in this subject area.
The proposal in such a way that joint assessment means then there is a innovative medical device applied to Japan or to Malaysia. Both countries we can do assessment on the innovative pathway together. So you do your evaluation, we will do evaluation, we share the outcome, and then when you give approval, we also can give approval. So it's like one assessment, but you get two countries' approval for innovative medical device. So with that, it will be more faster approval that and also faster access to these new medical devices, new technology. So joint assessment means you do your assessment, we will do our assessment on the same product, and then we share the outcome, and then if we agree both, then you give approval, we give approval. So that same product will get dual approval from both countries. So it's easier that product to enter into Japan or to enter into Malaysia. This is the arrangement, for innovative medical device to make it more faster access, right, for patient safety and also for patient benefits. Right. That is the proposal. We try to put in something and then maybe we can discuss further.
But we understand your intention, but as Mr. Okubo said earlier, in the MOC itself, we just cover the general wording only, and maybe we can continue our discussion about how to collaborate in the assessment itself. Yeah.
So we will give general wordings in the MOC about this cooperation thing, and then the details later we can discuss. But we will propose some general wordings, right? Like framework kind of thing.
Thank you very much. I think that is a good way to proceed. So now, this is the kind of a step-by-step process. So maybe we can do what we can. Maybe we should do what we can do easily, and then go to step by step.
Right. Agree. Thank you to that. Jun-san, you want to say something just now?
No, just waiting the timing of the closing remarks.
Before I hand over to Jun-san, I would like to make my closing remarks. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Miko and also the delegates from Japan. Really honored, Malaysia to host Japan next year in MDA. I think this is the first time that the Japanese counterparts coming to MDA, and it's really honored. We wish to continue our discussion and the cooperation virtually through emails and so on, and hopefully our bilateral relationship will be strengthened further and become the example to the world later. Thank you. I wish on my behalf of my colleagues, I would like to say thank you and arigatou gozaimasu.
So, on my side, thank you very much for holding our first face-to-face meeting by MDA, MHW, MDA bilateral meeting today amid your very busy schedule today. And I felt like we had very lively and productive discussions throughout the meeting, although time constraints. But I hope we have deepened understanding of both MDAs and also PMDA's medical device reviews. So it also able how we collaborate, in the future. And regarding the MD sub-program, we understand your positive consideration to attending that, they are participating in that activity. And Japan would like to support MDA's, the application for the affiliate member to MD sub. And as for the MOC, I think that we found that the direction of the context today throughout our today's discussion. So I really look forward to the promotion of collaborative relation in the future. Thank you very much, and terima kasih.
October.
Kalau macam oleh ni pun jangan cakap saja, tak online.
Tapi dia kena buka team saja.
Dia boleh.